Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. It's Friday morning. I'm meeting up with me, my wife and the kids are meeting up with my best mate, his missus and his young one as well, and they're also expecting another child, so we don't get to see them too often. They're coming over from Kalgoorlie and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to have a spanking good shave, hopefully with a few nicks as possible, because I'll be using a razor I haven't used for a while. But I am going to be using one of my favourite soaps and scents, Coolabah from Australian Private Reserve. Very minimalistic soap, there's not a lot in here. I mean, your actual ingredients list is stearic acid, glycerin, tallow, coconut oil, castor oil, fragrance, shea butter, lanolin, silk protein and menthol. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 99% sure that the fragrances that go into all Australian Private Reserve soaps are from essential oil based components. They're not actually from fragrance oils. I know it says fragrance on there, but I'm pretty sure they are essential oils. The scent on this is supposed to be a sort of a tag-along or an add-on for Creed Aventus. Now, Dan, who is the owner and proprietor of Australian Private Reserve, wanted to bring out a soap and a splash which complements Creed Aventus without actually smelling like Creed Aventus. Now, this complements very well, given that it's a very pineapple scent. It does have, for my nose, a bit of the Green Irish Tweed thing going on about it. It does have that sort of scent, basing it on other Green Irish Tweed clones that I've smelled. Now, I just found out today that Green Irish Tweed is actually, or should I say Cool Water from Davidoff is actually a spin-off of Green Irish Tweed. So I've never smelled the real Green Irish Tweed from Creed, but given that I love Cool Water, and I've actually just ordered a bottle of it because I ran out years ago, and it was one of my favourite scents from the 90s and the 2000s, and I still love that scent, so I've ordered a massive bottle of it. But let's get stuck in. Brush for today is the Mervyn Cadman. Now, I think this handle shape is called the M60. The cast or the resin on this is absolutely stunning. You can see Mervyn's little label down there, his logo, the little badger from Badger and Blade. I think it's Badger and Blade. Cadman shaving brushes, handcrafted. Now, it came with a 24mm Tuxedo knot in this. It was sent to me completely by accident. The knot was set too low and there was a few other issues. So they are being sorted at the moment. Now, this has been quite a long, ongoing process with Mervyn, but we've always been in contact with each other. We knew the score, we knew what was happening, and we've both been happy the way it's been going. So it's not a case of Mervyn's customer service is poor because it isn't. It's top notch. But given the circumstance of how it all came about, there'll be something else in the works soon. Now, I had it replaced by Reyes Restores with a 26mm Magard knot, 26mm black and white Magard knot, which most likely comes from Yahtzee or some Chinese company. Most of them are Chinese anyway, but it's a really nice knot. It's not as soft as the Tuxedo knot, the 24mm Tuxedo. It's not as soft as that, so just bear that in mind when you buy a Magard knot. You're not going to get the same soft tips that you get from an actual original Tuxedo knot. So let's get it dipped in the water. Cold water shave today, and obviously this is a mentholated soap. Well, not obviously, it is a mentholated soap for you guys out there that don't know that. I did go through the ingredients, I'm sure it says menthol on there somewhere. Yeah, I don't think I actually got to the end of the ingredients, but menthol is on there. Now, the menthol hit with this soap is absolutely perfect. I can't explain it any better than that. If you go into the glacial range of Sterling, and even some of the mentholated range, Barrister and Man, Arctique, and a few others, the menthol, you need to be a lover of menthol like I am to really enjoy it. If you don't like menthol, you've never tried it, you'll either not like it or it will shock you because it is extremely cold. The menthol on this, however, they seem to have nailed the amount of menthol on here. Now, the soap base for this one is absolutely top notch, I love it. However, just for you guys out there that are big Australian Private Reserve lovers, and lovers of the scents and the soaps, as I am, I think they're superb. It has recently changed, or is changing. He's the guy that makes this soap. If you're on Paste and Cut Forum, I think it's SXOT, I don't know how it's pronounced, Scott, I don't know. I think that's what it is. He used to make the base. Now, I don't know who's making the new base or whether Dan's going to make it himself. I know he's collaborated with a few well-respected Australian wet shavers, or at least one that I know of, and so I would imagine he's actually coming out with his own base. I I don't know whether it's a cost thing or I don't know. It certainly can't be a quality thing because the quality of this soap is excellent. It's really high quality soap. Now the scent on this sits around about a 4. It's not an overpowering scent at all, but it's really nice. It's quite warm today, it's around about 30 degrees already and it is only 10 o'clock in the morning. Right, so that's the load painted on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my sort of, not a tutorial, well it's a tutorial. I'm going to show you how I make a lather using a soap. So this is just your normal sort of bog standard artisan soap. It's quite soft to the touch, you can squish your finger into it, it's not a triple milled soap. So what I've done is I've loaded the brush, I've painted on the load like so, it's still very pasty and dry, and all I do now is I just dip the tips down to about that far in the water and just paint the water into it all over. And what I'm aiming for is for the lather or the load on my face to go completely opaque pretty much everywhere, on my neck, on my cheeks. Not opaque, translucent. Once it's very translucent all over, I then know that I'm in a position to splay the brush and start building the lather. Now, I'm not telling anyone to suck eggs at all. Everyone's got their own style, their own opinion and their own way of doing things. I have not been in the wet shaving community for a long time. I've been wet shaving this way for 2 years, not even 2 years, but 2 years this June. So that's what I'm looking for. Very opaque, very watery, all over my face. So now this brush, I'm just going to take some of the water off because I dripped some on there. Should be pretty much ready to splay now, so there we go. Now because I've painted so much water into this load on my face, the amount of water that's now in the tips of the brush, you've got enough water to begin your lather and get it to a good standard already. I always add more because I overload the brush with soap. So it depends how much soap you want to load into your brush. Now I've got over 70 soaps, well actually probably over 50 now. I got rid of quite a few in a care package last week. As you can see, just down here, it's all starting to build nicely. Now this is really thick, creamy lather, it always is. So I'm just dipping the tips again and again. Just get back to that sort of opaque look again, as you can, translucent, you can see through to the skin. And splay the brush again. Now this never fails me. In my personal opinion, it only works, or it works best with a synthetic. It works every time with a synthetic. I cannot say it doesn't. For you guys that have been watching me long enough, you'll know that my lathers have drastically improved. Right, so I am where I want to be, and as you can see there is lather everywhere. So what I do is I sort of pull it from the sides first, and then pull it up from the bottom, and then what I do is I just scoop that little bit on the bottom there because that's an area where I don't actually shave. I don't really have any hair there. And that lather is absolutely phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. Look at the peaks everywhere. It's thick, it's creamy, it tastes good. It's got a nice kick of menthol in there as well. The menthol is really cooling my skin down right now, which is great. Right, the razor for today is the RazoRock Wunderbar, which is a stainless steel head Now this thing is precision milled, and when I say precision, I mean it holds the blade exactly where it needs to be. It does have no blade movement at all. You put your blade on, it literally crunches it into place when you close it, and it's exactly where it needs to be. Now you can probably see there that the blade actually runs off at a bit of an angle. I hope you can see it. It's the way it was made, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Now it's a torque slant, which means it's pretty much, technically it would have been a straight thing and it's been twisted and bent down, so that's where the slant comes from. So that's me holding it pretty much level, and you can hopefully you can see that slant on it. Titanium handle. This is a RazoRock razor. Now the only thing missing from RazoRock razors, or this one in particular, not all of them because a lot of them do have it, it's just a little bit of, even just a little insignia on there. You know, I know these are made in Canada. I would love a little maple leaf. Maple leaf's probably one of my favourite logos, and it'd be lovely just to have a little maple leaf on the underside of this, just to sort of finish it off and give it that bit of a finish. But anyway, let's get stuck in. Haven't used this razor for a while. Nice light touch. It's a very smooth, very efficient razor. You do not need to push hard with it. And here we go. I've got a brand new Gillette Nasset blade. And I haven't used this razor now for probably over a month. I will be doing a head shave with it probably this weekend. This is pretty much one of my favourite head shaving razors. Super light touch, it's got lovely feedback. Australian Private Reserve soap base. Super slick. Very protective. It's got a great cushion. I mean, look how thick that is there. It's just phenomenal. The menthol's great. It's just the perfect amount of menthol. I can't praise the menthol quantity enough. So nice to be able to shave during the day. I love shaving during the day or in the morning. When I start my new job and the training's finished, most of my shifts, if not nearly all of my shifts, will be afternoon shifts. The great thing with that is all my shaves will be done during the day, which is great. I do have the odd day shift when I'm working in the vehicles. The vehicles are generally day shifts for us. Oh, slickness is phenomenal. Just to give you an idea of the slickness on this. Just glides. Right. Lather number 2. Just got a bit of lather on the brush there. I just cleaned it and then put another bit on it. Brilliant. Oh, menthol's phenomenal. So the scent on this, like I say at the start, it's not got a whole heap going on. It's got a little bit of a green Irish tweed sort of thing going with it. But the pineapple's very prominent and it's beautiful. I love pineapple. It's my favourite fruit. And just dip the tips of it, just when a little bit dry. This is where synthetics come into their own, in my opinion. When the lather dries a little bit, you just dip the tips and away it goes again. With natural hair brushes, I find it doesn't quite do it as well. You'll see what I mean once I'm finished here. The lather just explodes to the same quality it was for the first lather. And I can't get that generally from a natural hair brush. I am not dissing natural hair brushes. I love them. I think they're great. I never used to. I never shoot them down, but they don't make as good a lather as a natural hair brush. And in my opinion, that is a fact. And I would challenge anyone to make a better lather than I can make on a synthetic. I'm not saying it won't make a great lather, because they do, but over 3 passes I can make a better lather by a mile than what I can with this natural hair brush. I mean, that is absolutely sensational for a second lather. I could add a little bit more water and make that more voluminous, but I don't really need it now. The cushioning protection is not required for the second and third pass. So back with the RazoRock Wunderbar across the grain. Lovely light touch. So definitely very interesting to find out whether the new formula of Australian Private Reserve holds up to this one. Because if I'm brutally honest, it's got a lot to hold up to. As I'm sure you guys out there that use Australian Private Reserve know, it's a high quality base with high quality ingredients. This razor is so efficient, it's not even funny how efficient this razor is. When you've been using the supply razor, which is an excellent razor, and then you come over to this thing, you realise how mild and how less efficient the supply razor is to an efficient razor. This isn't an aggressive razor for me, it's just extremely efficient. Just as I say that, I'll take a chunk out of my neck, but I find as long as you're careful with this razor and use a lovely light touch, you'll get a phenomenal shave from it. I'm just going to empty the sink out, it's getting a bit murky. Get ready for pass number 3. So hopefully the video quality is a bit better with some sunlight coming through the window, and I'm sure it will be. Not that it's generally bad quality, but I notice the difference when I watch it during the day. It also makes editing it a whole lot easier. Oh, the slickness is phenomenal. One thing with Australian Private Reserve as well, I never get even the slightest hint of a reaction from it. It's just a gorgeous soap. Do the tips again. Menthol's brilliant. And again, you can see how thirsty the soap is, how much water it can take. I haven't revisited the soap, this is just what was in the brush from the initial load. You can see just how good quality this soap is. There's very few soaps in the market can do this. And I've used some really high quality soaps. thick that is. I know it's not voluminous in terms of density on the skin, but it's a very creamy lather. It's heavy, it's dense. This is super close, this shave. Every time I use the Wunderbar, it is Wunderbar. I don't think I've ever had a bad shave from it, other than shaving 2 days in a row with it. It's a little bit much. You do get quite a bit of blade feel, even though it's a non-aggressive razor for me. You do get a lot of blade feel, so I'm just going to this isn't something I would normally do with a Wunderbar, but I'm going to go against the grain a little bit just under the lip and just see how it feels. Got a couple of little nicks here, not nicks, weepers. Super. Oh, what a shave. Oh. Now comes the best part, or one of the best parts of an Australian Private Reserve shave, the splash. Coolabah splash. Now this smells, I'm not joking, it smells like the best pineapple fruit drink you could ever smell. It smells incredible. Now this stuff, when you put it on, is quite thick because it's got all the stuff you need that you would normally get from a balm. You would normally get your moisturising stuff from a balm. Now just from the soap alone you could walk away, no problem, but when you've got this stuff lying around you've got to use it. So I've given that a good shake. The oils do separate a bit. If you give it a good shake, it mixes it all back up and goes cloudy. If you let it sit for a few days, it actually goes clear and all the oil sits on the bottom, which normally oil would sit on the top, but it must be, I'm assuming it's whatever's in here causes it to sink to the bottom. So here we go. You don't need heaps of it. I certainly won't today because I'll be topping it up with oh, it's a good bit of burn in that today. Sorry about that, I just ran out of storage, which hasn't happened for a while. Yeah, the scent on this, when it hits your skin, you get that beautiful pineapple. Now, straight away, once that pineapple hits you, you can still smell it, but then it starts evolving, and it evolves into a lovely sort of cologne type scent, and it's really nice. That got a little weepers here, pretty bad. But other than that, lovely. Got a little bit of, it's not razor burn, it's just when I put that splash on the alcohol, it's just flared up my neck a little bit. I'll need to dab that off a little bit later, and I'll just let it dry out first. But yeah. Beautiful scent, really is. Now the menthol would blow you away. It's just phenomenal, the menthol. and the way it's done or whatever's in there, it lasts a good 10-15 minutes, the menthol kick from this. It's really, really nice stuff. And like I say, I've used this 4 times now, and it's hardly made a dent in the bottle. So it's going to last quite a while. You don't need a lot of it. So while that's sort of drying in. Now, it's quite sticky, I will say that for it, and it is the ingredients that are in it. It's not like an aftershave splash with just alcohol in there. I would tell you what's in it, but the writing on the label is so small, I struggle to read it. But I'm pretty sure there's things like glycerin and aloe and a few other little bits like that in there that actually assist in healing the skin and moisturising as well. Just rinse the brush out. Spot on. Brush done, I'll rinse the soap out now. So this routine for me is pretty much set in stone now, especially on video, but even off video it's the exact same. I rinse the brush, I rinse out all the soap, actually rinse all the suds, all the excess crap. I don't let it dry in the tub. It's just a bit of, it's not OCD, it's just the way I do things. Right, I'll just cut a little with this. I'm going to dab them just with a bit of water. I think they're pretty much stopped now. Very, very nice. Absolutely over the moon with this shave today. So the soap for today was Coolabah from Australian Private Reserve. Outstanding soap. The base is as good as anything on the market in my opinion. It really is good, and the more I use it, the better I become with it, the more proficient with it, and it just goes on and on and on and on. As you saw, once it dries in the brush a bit and you're doing your pass, a little bit of water and it just explodes again. You get to the third one, bit of water, explodes again. There's way more than enough in that brush to do another 2 full passes with a good amount on your face, which is just phenomenal. And the brush for today was the Cadman 26mm Tuxedo style knot. And this brush, I can't do any justice to this resin handle on the video. It looks much better now that I've changed to 1080p 60 frames. I do notice that the brushes do look that little bit more special, but Mervyn makes phenomenal casts, and his actual turning skills, the quality, the weight, there's no tooling marks on this at all when you get it. It is just completely unblemished. It's perfect. I can't really get onto that enough. Very similar to Wolf Whiskers, that Dan Rob, Milton, Turn and Shave. They all have high quality end products, including the resins. The razor today was the Wunderbar from RazoRock, which is one of my favourite razors. It really is. I absolutely love this razor. It sits for a while and doesn't get used, and I pull it back out and use it, and then I forget how much I actually enjoy using it. It's just a phenomenal razor. I can't use it every day. It's not an everyday shaver, it's just too efficient. And then finished off with Coolabah Splash, which, let me have a look. Nah, no way I can read any of that. That's me done and dusted, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a pretty special shave, and I will be making, oh jeez, your skin feels incredible. So that stickiness I was telling you about, a little bit tacky, disappears pretty much after 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. And you're just left with silky, soft, beautiful skin. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Anyway guys, thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be doing probably a shave every day for the whole weekend. I'm going to get stuck in. I'm off for 4 days, so I'll be one tomorrow, there'll be one Sunday and one on Monday. And then I've only got 4 days left of training before I graduate, and I cannot wait, I tell you, can't wait at all. So you guys, stay safe, drive safe. It is Easter weekend, so be very, very careful out there, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Cheers.